perhaps we've never heard their true stories: football matches where the winner is killed, humans sacrificed to gods, a civilization bathed in blood. What do all these people, whose height doesn't even reach 50, expect from the stars? They never saw horses, never heard of iron, yet they managed to establish one of the most magnificent civilizations in the history. A civilization that continues to excite the scientific world, not with legends, but with the truth, the realities of the Maya civilization. Right now, in the middle of the American continent, you are seeing the Kukulkan Temple in Tikal. One of the 7 wonders of the world, it has a total of 91 steps on all 4 sides. That's 364 steps. Could they have forgotten one? No, there is an additional elevation at the summit, completing the 365 days of the year. The large steps on the sides are 18 in total, representing the 18-month Maya period. The calendar they used is far more accurate than the Roman Julian calendar, with only a 17-second annual time difference from the modern calendar. As you learn the secrets of this pyramid and many others built 1,000 years ago, believe me, the admiration I feel will resonate with you to the core. Before delving into the mysteries of the legal pyramid, I want to show you many things. First, let's get to know this magnificent civilization that revolves around conspiracy theories, the Maya. The Mayans, starting from around the 2000s BCE, emerged as a civilization in the middle of the American continent. Despite being one of the longest-standing civilizations globally, we cannot speak of a single kingdom. Instead, various city-states with internal conflicts constituted Maya society. One intriguing aspect that sets them apart is their observation of planets. They even had calendars arranged according to the Venus star. They positioned their city structures in alignment with star constellations like Orion and Draco. Not only that, but they also positioned their structures according to celestial bodies. For example, the city's largest structure would be built where the brightest or most important star was, while ordinary people's living areas would align with less prominent stars. When we say road, keep in mind that, until Europeans discovered the region, there were no other riding animals in the Americas for transportation besides walking or running. A messenger serving the royal family could easily run 50 kilometers a day. Through these running messengers, Maya cities with populations reaching 100,000 maintained constant communication. If an ordinary citizen encountered a dwarf in the city streets, they better pay attention because dwarfs were considered sacred by the Maya and served as workers in palaces or temples. What you are seeing now is a wooden dwarf statue, thought to represent one of the king's attendants, carrying a mirror-like object referred to as an office. Servants who dressed and cared for the king were often chosen from among dwarfs, and the dwarf in the statue probably held a mirror for the king while he prepared. If the statue's teeth had survived to the present day, you would see stones embedded in them. One distinctive feature of the Mayans is that they were the first society to perform dental implants in history. Starting with a rite of passage into manhood, they typically carved hollows into front teeth and placed stones in them with various mixtures. We do not exactly know how they did it, but this was not just a ceremonial ritual. Beyond ornamentation, it was a method of treatment involving herbal mixtures that contributed to Mayans maintaining robust dental health. Despite being a painful procedure, we can confidently say that the Mayans had some of the strongest teeth in the ancient world. Having learned to live in harmony with nature, the Mayans also used human and animal hairs to stitch wounds. Despite the average height of the Maya being around 1.50 meters, they had a daunting appearance to foreigners. People with giant hoop earrings, warriors with terrifying scars carved into their bodies. A significant portion of the population had crossed eyes and flat foreheads. In Maya society, having crossed eyes and a flat forehead was considered noble, so boards were tied to the foreheads of babies, and beads were hung in front of their eyes to make them cross-eyed. This way, They believed they could better understand the secrets of the world that couldn't be seen with normal eyes. Although many Maya skulls have been linked to extraterrestrial conspiracy theories, it's nothing more than a misinterpretation of this unusual tradition. Nevertheless, there is no reason to fear the intriguing appearance of Maya society. Rest assured that, as one of the most peaceful societies of the ancient world, they had a lifestyle where war was scarce, and peace prevailed in every aspect of life. Except for one feature, they also had a dark side, a truly dark one. Take a close look at these reliefs. They depict one of the most gruesome sports competitions in history. Right here on this field you see, a football-like match was held between two teams of 7, where the winner would die. Yes, you heard it right, a match where the winner would die. Played with a 5-kilogram rubber ball using various body parts such as hips, shoulders, and chest, without using hands and feet, the goal was to get the ball into the hole above. These matches could last for days, and the leader of the winning team would be decapitated as a sacrifice to the gods. The head would be impaled on a stick and then used in other religious games. The belief that the sacrificed person would have a better afterlife led to fierce competition among the teams to win and be sacrificed. Of course, not every match was played for the purpose of sacrifice. Matches were sometimes held during religious festivals or celebrations, and occasionally, games were played to honor the gods. In matches involving war prisoners, both winners and losers would die. Another feature of the field was the magnificent acoustic system in the section where the king's box was located. When the king spoke a sentence with a normal tone from his seat, the words could be easily heard by everyone throughout the field. This incredible acoustics can still be experienced today. Scientists, in their research, found coral reefs and bones of marine creatures inside the stones used in the royal box, discovering that the acoustics were planned in this way. Near this field, there is another engineering marvel, the Kukulkan Pyramid, one of the new 7 wonders of the world mentioned at the beginning of the video. The pyramid has a similar feature. When you clap your hands on the snake side of the pyramid, your applause turns into bird sounds. Whether it was a coincidence or intentionally designed was not known until recently, but the presence of coral pieces and fish bones designed in a single direction of the pyramid, the fact that the techno bird is considered sacred for the Maya, and other findings suggest a conscious design. The priest's applause should be considered to have a spiritual effect on the people of that era, being considered a sacred bird sound. Another engineering marvel is revealed on the snake side of the pyramid. For the Maya, who had an agriculture-based economy, the planting and harvest seasons were of great importance. They positioned the pyramid so that the sunlight on the equinoxes would create an S-shaped extension behind the snake's head. This snake is a god known as Kukulkan, and the name of the pyramid comes from this snake god. Although shaped as a famous snake, the Maya texts clearly state that it is not actually a snake but belongs to the white human race. According to the texts of the Maya, Aztec, and Inca, he lived with humans for a while, showed them the right path, and taught them civilization before returning to the heavens. Some texts mention him not as an individual but in the plural form. The famous Maya sacred book, Popol Vuh, states, "They give body, they create, they are surrounded by green and blue." The pronunciation in the Maya language is Kukulkagan. How did the belief in the god Kukulkan, portrayed as a snake but described as a white human in religious books, come about? Perhaps explorers came from the other side of the world and then left. We know that adventurous Vikings reached the Americas 470 years before Christopher Columbus. However, the belief in Kukulkan dates back much earlier. Perhaps thousands of years ago, they encountered something unexpected, a figure from the other end of the world. Maybe it was just an imagination, but this was a real mystery. Such a mystery that they believed eagerly, waited for the return of that white man they believed in, and thought that he would bring an end to everything. The Maya believed that life and time were based on the opposition and cycle of good and evil, feminine and masculine, night and day, life and death, good gods and evil gods, seasons, and nature. The fundamental element in the construction of the pyramid is actually this belief. The snake god appears on the equinox date and slowly descends as it disappears underground. This marks the beginning of the rainy season or harvest time. If the expected cycle does not occur, and the rainy season does not begin, it means the gods are asking for more sacrifice, and the bloodbath begins. The reliefs here are reliefs of the skulls of people captured in wars. The skulls of the sacrificed hundreds of works were exhibited by being impaled on sticks in front of these reliefs. The bodies of the victims were gathered in this part of the city and given to the man-eating dogs, completing the cleaning process. Sacrifices were not only prisoners of war, people could also sacrifice themselves voluntarily. Of course, they had to have some features, mostly, the birth hour or a physical difference were some of these signs. People could also sacrifice their children or dedicate them to the temple. The most preferred were virgin girls, as they were considered pure and innocent. The ritual of sacrifice had many different types depending on the religious day and need. Usually, the heart was removed by the priest, the still beating heart was raised into the air, and then placed on the altar stone inside the temple. Sometimes, the sacrifices were thrown into sacred and clear water sources called cenotes in the cities. Even today, countless skeletons with removed hearts, beheaded heads, or thrown into the cenotes are still being excavated. While we're on the subject, we need to talk about the crystal skulls. Investigations into the crystal skulls, which were claimed to be made by the Maya and believed to possess mysterious powers, have revealed that these skulls were produced as fake works in Europe using modern tools in the 19th and 20th centuries, refuting another legend. Anyway, let's now return to the real story of the Maya. The Maya used writing in their daily lives, having a writing system consisting of 800 symbols. However, only the educated minority of the society could use such an advanced script. Additionally, they had developed a base, 20-number system. Inscriptions show that they performed calculations with numbers in the millions and that the dates they specified extended to very ancient times. Despite having documented many aspects of their lives in writing, when the Spanish invaded the region, they saw these writings from their own perspective as books and burned them all. Only a small fortunate portion, including sacred religious books, managed to survive to the present day. The Maya society was built on the family, and there was a division of labor between women and men. Money did not exist, but exchanges were made with cocoa beans or other products you had. For example, the value of a rabbit was 10 cocoa beans. What I find interesting is that societies living on opposite sides of the world developed on the basis of family, religion, and state without knowing each other. Don't you think it's interesting too? Doesn't this summarize human nature to some extent? Now, I want to tell you an interesting feature of Maya society. There was almost no crime among the people. After all, a significant part of their day was spent working in fields or various jobs. However, the people were docile and obedient. When they wanted to harm someone, they applied a different method. According to their religious beliefs, each Maya had a spiritual affinity with an animal. For example, let's say every one of your animals is a crow. If someone wanted something bad to happen to you, they would kill a crow and wait for the result. The same situation applied for good deeds as well. This is the ancient city of Tikal. The astonishing architecture of this Maya city, located in present-day Guatemala and dating back 200 to 400 years, leaves one in awe. A megacity consisting of more than 3,000 buildings, with a population reaching 120,000, suddenly abandoned, 60-meter-high pyramids, colossal palaces, ballrooms, and entertainment venues were left to the silence of the forest. The abandonment for many years raised significant question marks and led to conspiracy theories. However, research revealed that the city was abandoned due to a severe drought triggered by the contamination of its water sources with a substantial amount of mercury, coupled with the environmental destruction caused by the large population. Even more interestingly, neither animals nor wheels were used in the construction of these colossal cities. They didn't even have iron. Because the American civilizations had not discovered iron, even their swords were made of a type of volcanic glass called obsidian. The Maya brought and carved tons of stone to construct all these grand cities with chisels and transported them by sliding and dragging them using human power, along with their hard work and advanced mathematics. The Maya proved that with the resources at hand, humankind can achieve the best. However, like every magnificent civilization, their end also came. First, drought, then Aztec invasions, and later, Spanish attacks resulting from geographical discoveries, brought an end to their civilization. Millions were burned, subjected to torture, and died in agony by the hands of the Spanish. Their left-behind works were looted, their wealth taken to Europe, and the survivors either struggled through war or lived as slaves for centuries. The awaited white man had brought their demise. Today, they no longer have a state, perhaps even more backward than their ancestors, but the 7 million Mayans in Central America continue to preserve their language and culture, commemorating the mysterious gods of the ancient world. They set an example for humanity, they changed humanity. If they were to be erased from the stage of history in agony, their names were not forgotten. They were the children of the jaguar, they were the Mayans.